The divine tree looked at the two spirit fruits in its hands. First, the dark fruit was well suited for two individuals, the purple tiger and Lan Feng. However, when it came to merit, the purple tiger couldn't compare to the other one. Lan Feng was one of the earliest members of Misty Mountain. Despite his cold demeanor, he had a warm heart. Together with his sister, the two siblings were highly skilled in caring for young beasts. In the Misty Mountain range, whenever any mutated beast fell ill, they would seek out these two first. More importantly, the next generation and the new arrivals of Misty Mountain were all very close to this brother and sister duo. On the other hand, the Dark Tiger possessed formidable combat abilities. If the divine tree were to give this fruit to it, there's no doubt it would achieve great progress in upgrading its combat power and become an essential part of the Legion, which was incredibly significant. The divine tree broke out in a sweat, realizing that being a leader was no easy task. Deep down, the divine tree leaned more toward Lan Feng's contributions. The divine tree also thought that if it gave the fruit to one, the other would surely complain, so it was probably best not to give it to anyone. Then, the divine tree turned its gaze to the light fruit. Everyone likely remembered the power a mutated beast gained when it absorbed a single spirit crystal flower. But this was a fruit. Its effects were surely many times greater than that of the crystal flower. The divine tree looked at it in awe. The light element, the most terrifying element, with its devastating destructive power and the speed of light. It was hard to imagine how powerful someone would become after consuming this fruit. The divine tree knew that any of its subordinates would want this fruit, so it made a decision. The divine tree turned to the laurel tree and said, "Hey, Laurel, could you do me a favor?" The laurel tree, surprised, didn't know what to expect. The divine tree's eyes shone like stars as it declared, an important announcement for Misty Mountain. In 3 months, we will hold a competition there. All monsters level 4 and below can participate. The first place winner will receive the light attribute fruit. As for the second place winner, I will personally bestow upon them a valuable lesson. The divine tree blushed slightly, embarrassed, and added, "Remember, when making the announcement, be sure to emphasize the dangers and the immense potential value of the light fruit. Also, do everything you can to attract as many participants as possible. When the time comes, I'll also be there to watch the battle." The laurel tree, puzzled, couldn't quite understand. Dangerous yet valuable? And what's with that expression on the master's face? Regret, perhaps? Then the divine tree remembered something and instructed the laurel tree not to forget to invite humans to participate as well, if they wished. The more, the merrier, after all. Of course, this was also part of a larger scheme to promote the image of Misty Mountain and attract talented individuals. The laurel tree thought to itself that the white tiger would surely cause a ruckus. After all, this fruit suited him quite well. The divine tree then left, leaving only the laurel tree behind, gazing at the starry sky, though perhaps it was only because it couldn't move. Later, when the moonlight illuminated the earth, spreading the message far and wide, the entire planet became abuzz with excitement. The allure of the light fruit was simply irresistible. Upon hearing the news, the moles gathered together to discuss it. "So, you've heard, right? In 3 months, Misty Mountain will host a competition where everyone will battle for that priceless fruit, right? Damn, that's a competition where everyone will participate, and losing means facing some truly painful challenges," some murmured, their voices tinged with fear. The Mole King, having reached the transcendent third order, lay lazily as his underlings chattered. After hearing the full story, his eyes gleamed. He had 3 eyes, so clearly, he was no ordinary creature. The golden markings on his body suggested a natural affinity with lightning or light. His eyes sparkled as he muttered, "If I could get my hands on that light fruit." Suddenly, the moles turned to their king and asked, "What is an elemental fruit?" The Mole King explained that it was like a ball. The moles didn't quite understand but thought that if they got that ball, the whole group could play together. The Mole King broke out in a sweat, thinking how absurd it was to compare an elemental fruit to a mere ball. Nevertheless, under the leadership of the Mole King, The whole Mole clan began making flags and slogans for cheering. The Mole King declared, "If I win this battle, each of you will get a ball to play with." This declaration ignited a wave of excitement among the moles, who enthusiastically chanted, "Go, Great King! Go, Great King!" At the panda's place, Big Brother Panda was lounging comfortably atop a mountain of bamboo shoots, munching away happily like a child. What was frustrating was that he was eating right in front of his subordinates, leaving them drooling with envy. They all thought how lucky their boss was, feasting on a mountain of fresh bamboo every day. They wished they could live like that too. Suddenly, a Federation knight from China burst through the door in a hurry and exclaimed, "This is bad. Something's happened." This startled Big Brother Panda, who immediately roared, "Who? Who stole my bamboo shoots?" The knight cursed loudly, "Is that all you care about?" It turned out that Cheesy had arrived, and naturally, with his face looking like he was heartbroken, everyone who saw him was terrified. Big Brother Panda welcomed his younger brother in the grand hall reserved for guests. He sat on a high platform, flanked by 2 rows of his underlings, a scene that truly exuded the air of a genuine gangster boss. Big Brother Panda remained silent and stern as he looked at his youngest brother. Cheesy couldn't hold back and blurted out, "Big Brother, you look so impressive." Big Brother Panda blushed. It was clear that he did everything just to hear those words. Since Cheesy had been so considerate, Big Brother Panda softened his tone and asked, "Little brother, is there something you need from me?" Cheesy put his hands on his hips, his face turning arrogant as he said, "Haha, I'm afraid if I tell you, you might wet your pants, Big Brother." Then, Cheesy proceeded to tell his brother about the event being organized by Misty Mountain, where the first place winner would receive the light fruit. However, only mutated beasts below the 4th order were allowed to participate. Big Brother Panda immediately fell into deep thought. The so-called light fruit, elemental spirit flowers were already considered legendary items, and now there was a light fruit. Its value was beyond measure. Cheesy added that this time, he had come to borrow strength from his elder brother. At this moment, Cheesy blushed as well, feeling that he was being quite bold, and then said, "I want to obtain the light fruit and become stronger." As expected, the later words seemed to go in one ear and out the other for Big Brother Panda, with only one phrase remaining in his mind. Light fruit. This phrase also left the captain of the Iron Knights stunned. Cheesy, meanwhile, was anxiously waiting for his brother's response. Finally, Big Brother Panda asked, "Does it taste good?" This question made both the knight beside him and Cheesy break out in a cold sweat. The knight shouted, "Boss, isn't that the treasure born from the divine tree that's being talked about all over the world? Eating it wouldn't just allow someone to leap from the 3rd to the 4th order. Most importantly, it could transform you into a being of pure light, a being with an elemental body." Big Brother Panda praised it, saying that it was indeed something extraordinary. Of course, it was extraordinary. However, even between blood brothers, business is still business. Big Brother Panda asked, "If I help you, what's in it for me?" Cheesy immediately put on an innocent face, his eyes sparkling as he replied, "You will always be the best big brother to me." As soon as those words left his mouth, Cheesy found himself being choked almost to death by a headlock. He quickly interrupted, saying that if he won first place, he would definitely share half of the fruit with his big brother. "Now let go. I'm about to die." Meanwhile, the white tiger was roaring loudly. Xiao Lam, speaking on behalf of the white tiger, declared to the other tigers below that the first 100 participants in the competition would receive gifts. The other tigers were skeptical, wondering if it could really be true since 100 was such a large number. But the dark tiger roared, asserting that if the big brother said there would be gifts, then there surely would be. For the record, the big brother was none other than the white tiger. Xiao Lam continued to encourage them, saying that this time, they had to demonstrate the might of the Tiger Clan at Misty Mountain. This was their chance to make a name for themselves in this land. Feeling a bit embarrassed by his own grandiose words, Xiao Lam shyly asked the white tiger if what he said was all right. The white tiger was very pleased and chuckled in approval. Still at Misty Mountain, the golden ant was speaking in front of a giant ant, saying that in 3 months, he would send this younger one off. The golden ant's voice was stern as he commanded that there would be no option but to win. Defeat was not permissible. As soon as these words were spoken, the ants let out a terrifying roar, showing their unwavering determination. Meanwhile, the nine-tailed fox was speaking to its younger sibling, asking, "Are you ready?" The snow-white fox immediately replied, "I will defeat them all and take the championship." The golden monkey, too, was filled with determination and declared that this time he must obtain that light fruit. The bear clan at the northern border was also determined not to let the fruit fall into the hands of another clan. Even the two underwater wardens of Misty Mountain wanted to participate, though they were so cautious that they were already fearful of the powerful opponents they would face. End of chapter 260.